Now I remember what I was getting. That's my power cord. I'll be right back.
Oh god.
Trying to detour.
Well, it's gonna sound great for the stream because I stopped streaming while we were chatting about crap and restarted streaming again. So it just restarts with silence.
And
All right, where were we? You have just stepped out of the elevator, and we can go from there. So at this point, who goes?
well, I guess Jill goes first.
Yeah, Jericho will take out his Auspex and start scanning.
So Jericho comes out first. Jericho, at this point, do a tiny description of your character, what you look right now.
Oh.
Anything special about you? You're Jimmy.
Well, given the fact that he's killed like 3 or 4 guys in close combat with knives and basically beat them to death with a stun baton, Jericho's probably a little bloodier than he usually is, but Jericho is a little above average height. He's right about 6 feet tall, and he has salt and pepper black hair with several days of stubble growing on his cheeks, and he has a kind of a salt and pepper goatee and mustache, and around his neck he has this dark crimson scarf that he is almost never seen without. And those who have seen him, which is everybody in his party, knows that that scarf hides a hanging scar from a rope burn that surrounds his neck. And he is dressed in his cameline cloak with his basically navy armor underneath it, which is like a dark blue and a mesh cloak as well. And he is carrying a long lance, probably, and his Auspex.
Awesome. Anyone else, it's voluntary if you want to describe your character, but you're free to do it.
Well, Quentin steps up pretty much right behind Jericho. And he also, funnily enough, has salt and pepper hair. But yeah, he's got kind of longish salt and pepper hair. And he's got stubble, but it's broken up by the spider-like scars that are kind of crawling up across his neck and across his cheek, taking over half of his face. And his eyes are constantly almost at like a half squint. His brows are constantly together. And as he steps out, his head is immediately snapping to each end of the room to try and get a hold of it all. And he's wearing his rogue captain jacket still, and it's royal blue, and it kind of reaches down to his knees, and it's kind of just got, it's, you know, fancy enough with some gold trimmings and all of that crap, but underneath it's hiding his tempest armor, and just underneath his regular clothes he's just got a shirt and some pants. You can just see it poking through, and it's kind of this almost very dark ebony color. You can just see the shine underneath, protecting him. And he probably stands taller than the rest of the group. And he kind of steps out. His hands are subconsciously just by his holsters, as he just doesn't trust the situation ahead.
Okay, after
Nice.
him.
Anyone else?
I thought you wanted to say something.
No?
Okay,
You want
so
to describe
after
your
him just strides Rose very energetically after after Jill with this key breaker device, saying, "Wait up for me! I can help with a safe." And she's wearing also chameleonite cloak with her hood on. You can see that she have like long blonde hair, like behind under the hood, and some standard regular armor. Nothing special.
Nice.
And do we have the fourth party member?
Yes, Llewellyn stands a bit short, just barely making it over 5 feet tall, and she is wearing this deep crimson and black colored robe with imperial iconography all over it. It appears to be covering up sort of like a tabard over this thick and heavy enforcer like carapace armor that she has taken to wearing now. Her platinum blonde hair is cut short to keep it out of her face and eyes, and she kind of has this absent-minded look about her for the most part, as if her mind is always partially somewhere else, no matter what's going on. She is carrying a rather large backpack on her that is filled with various items, and her right hand ends in a tangled mess of cybernetic tines, small little metallic rods and needle-like precise instruments instead of it being a hand at all.
Awesome. Anyone else? Is
I
that
think
everyone?
that's everyone.
Cool. Then you are in, imagine like a top suite of an office overlooking this beautiful vista. As you look in the distance, you see mountains, trees stretching out forever, beautiful blue sky, and or actually it's overcast now, so raining, and you sort of look around the room, and yes. Gilbert must have gone up to a safe, and she's standing by this huge safe in the wall, and she's just inspecting it. All the while, you think you hear this faint alarm in the distance, and that's where we begin now.
So
Okay.
Jericho, realizing that he is probably not going to be able to help very much with the safe, starts looking for any way to shut off the alarm.
Yes. There, you sort of look at the various interfaces here, and it's just like, oh, that's the light, oh, that's the heat, that's somewhere I turn on a screen, and yeah, nothing really seems to be. AC. Nothing is really attached to the security system here.
Okay. So Rose just starts to unpack her carjacking tools, and does the safe is like electronic one or mechanical?
It is electronic.
God damn it! So she just turns back like, Levlin, come here.
Sorry, just before we continue, what is this safe for?
The
So-
safe is where the key is supposed to be stored.
Oh, we're on the top.
Because you remember
Okay.
the key is, yeah,
I think we accessed the private elevator with that -60 check.
So
Like this
in
elevator
character,
is.
guys, we're in character now. As Jill is standing next to the safe, she turns over to you, Mogadishu, Jericho, and she sort of says, "Although I enjoyed our little cuddle earlier, I realize I'm against hopeless odds if I were to try something." She looks almost like a girl who's stolen candy from a store or something, a little guilty, and she sort of twirls her foot on the ground and looks down and goes, "My only slight demand is to record and copy the key with a picture recorder, if you will present it to me." She blinks and tries to look as cute as possible.
that I'm afraid we can't do. The key goes back to the Inquisitor. That's the mission.
I think
Jericho
you should
doesn't
test.
even wait. There's no pause or hesitation. And as you know, the moment when Jericho talks about the mission, he has such a force of conviction that it is the most important thing to him.
You all get an inspiration point for the descriptions. She's standing by the safe and sort of raises her shoulders. "What? I can't open it.
I would
Llewellyn
love to
walks forward and she like squats down and tilts her head to the side, rubbing the safe with her left hand and whispering to it quietly.
Quentin, did you just jump out of the window?
I accidentally
Oh,
pressed up
It
for
was
too long,
too-
and I
It
didn't
was
realize
about
I
to
went off the screen, and I'm trying to
That was
desperately find
really
my
fast.
token.
It was like a fucking Superman jump
I
through the window.
was gonna say something, but I was just trying to find the token in the darkness.
It was too much to handle for Quentin.
Yeah. All right. Safe is there.
She
Jill is
tries to open the safe by talking sweet nothings in its ear.
there. Okay. You can do a -20 security test, and you need a kit to do it.
Like a multi key.
Mhm.
Okay. Ta-da!
Very nice. You fiddle with the lock for a moment. You look over your shoulder, and Jill is leaning down. She kneels down on one knee, and she's looking at the safe. So excited. Her eyes just light up like it's Christmas. The safe slowly opens, and it's this huge white door that you open up. And you look inside. You see a small metal box with an encryption on the front. Sorry, inscription written in
Okay.
High Gothic.
Llewellyn can read that out loud.
It says key 0107.
Oh wait. Oh.
So we are just staring at it. Okay, Ross picks it up.
Ross, you go over to the safe. You pick up this.
I was here
rather,
outside.
rather small box.
Llewellyn,
box.
the box, is it like a
So you
locked
can open-
box inside the safe?
No, it appears
Oh,
to be
okay.
open.
Wait, but before Ross picks it up, Jericho's like, "Hey, make sure it's not trapped, right? Explosives or plasma or something, you know."
Okay, we can roll for traps.
Search for traps. Llewellyn closes the safe door out of curiosity and does it have like a keypad to punch in numbers?
So wait, you open it in the closing area.
You lock it, and you're pretty sure it's locked and secure. The safe was empty aside from the box.
Okay. So is there like a keypad to put in numbers?
Sure.
Because my question is Llewellyn has this. I have this. Sorry, out of character. I have this note that the code to the safe is 9054.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, is that this safe?
As you press that code, the safe opens.
Oh, okay.
We
And she
never
like kind of
needed
like
that.
bops herself on the head.
You look at the shrine. There is some more text there in High Gothic.
What does it say?
Well, do you want to open it?
Sure.
Sure. Do you open it?
Yes.
Okay. As you open it, you see an old rolled up parchment. What do you do? By the way, time is still rolling.
Yeah, so is there anything else in the room that's of note? Any other rooms or anything like that?
There is a sort of the entire way facing the entrance is just a series of windows, and it is as tall as you. And on the side of the wall, there is a sort of a panel to operate it. and it looks like they can open up entirely. There is a large wooden table and various beautiful statues and urns and various screens, that sort of thing.
So can Ross open the key box to see what the key looks like and probably die?
Absolutely. There is a rolled up parchment. It looks very frail.
Guys, the clock is ticking. Like,
I would suggest to take a picture of the parchment.
While they're doing that, Quentin will play with these panels.
And at that time, you hear some noises from the left on the map.
That sounds great. Let's go to the windows.
Are we not opening the safe? Have we not opened it?
We
No,
opened this. We
we've
have
No,
the
opened
key.
they
it.
opened it.
It has like a small ancient scroll inside of a box. We've opened the safe. We've opened the box. We're looking at this rolled up piece of parchment, and
Take it with us.
Right.
Rose
I guess she
Quentin,
just closes the box and brings it with her.
Quentin
Yep.
just kind of whistles. He's
Yep.
like, well, whether that's the key or not the key, we're getting out of this planet right now. Let's go.
At that moment, you, as you sort of stand by the window, you think you see something flashing in the distance, in the horizon, Quentin. Almost like a light flashing once.
That's some sniper business.
There is a Vox machine next to the fine desk that you're standing on. It starts to beep, and there's a very small red light. It looks like a communication device.
Yeah, Llewellyn will go over and answer.
Okay. As soon as you
Moshi,
press the
moshi.
button, you hear a voice. I can't do this voice, but imagine there's a really robotic, almost like someone is trying to be anonymous on a phone, right? The voice says, "This is Icarus, throne agent with Inquisitor Consus Thula of the Ordo Xenos. I believe you have met our infiltrator, Vermosta." Vermosta sort of walks over to the machine, looks out the window, and she gives a faint smile like she recognizes the voice. The voice continues. "The structure is surrounded by Avery security. We will be arriving in a lander shortly. Make the jump or meet certain death. The choice is yours. The Emperor protects."
you know, I like flying, but jumping out of buildings is not really my style.
Out the
Rose.
windows. You look out the windows as you're standing there. You get this cold breeze that comes up your legs, and you all start to get a little cold. You see vast mountains and green fields. It's raining pretty heavily now, and droplets slowly roll down the windows. On the rockcrete surface, making up the enormous parking spaces below, you see countless black-painted civilian vehicles and armed people running around. In the horizon, over the mountains, you see a jet black lander with no markings, slowly approaching the floor you're standing on. Jill walks over to the side of the windows, presses a button, and they open completely. The wind fills the room, and you're standing there as the rain pours in. You hear people coming in the distance.
Okay. Well,
What do you do?
Jericho rummages around in his backpack, and he pulls out a drop harness, and he starts strapping it on and then securing the rope. How far up are we?
I was pretty sure it
You
was
broke up there,
on.
Jericho. What is that?
I said Jericho starts rummaging around in his backpack and pulls out a drop harness and starts strapping it on, and then starts securing a rope. And he like takes a look out the window, and he goes, "How far up are we?" Like he's looking out the window.
Far. Real far. It's like 11 floors down.
Pretty sure the rope's not gonna go.
Up 30 to 50 meters.
And it's the surfaces to the windows is completely wet and slippery. There's also a small incline in the building, so it sort of grows out slightly where you're standing.
So what you're
So
saying
basically
is there's no chance of us jumping out of this window and living.
No, there is absolutely a chance. You look down, Jericho, and you sort of study each floor. You see that each floor has some not balconies, but a slight edge that you can stand on. So it's not impossible to climb down there.
Quentin looks over
However,
at
it's
Jericho.
extremely dangerous, of course.
Quentin looks over at Jericho and he's like, well, we got two ways of living. Either we try and fight and live, or we try and jump and live. Which one are you feeling for today?
At that moment, you see two servitors enter the room.
Well,
They don't look very happy. They look mean. You know?
Ross looks at the assassins to jump. It's like, hey, it looks easy enough. I wait for you in the car, guys. And she just put the line on like a window frame and jumped.
Wait, what line did she put in?
I do have a drop harness. It's probably not enough for like a bottom line, but like I hope for 10 meters max when I'm going to unravel his hole.
Oh, that was nice. I like that she just kind of fucking jumped on her own. Are we all rolling initiative?
Roll initiative.
What the? God damn.
They also roll the initiative for jumping out of the window.
The initiative for jumping out of the window? You can just do that before the combat begins. It'll be a very, very sad affair.
How did
I mean, I do have a drop harness, and also I'm pretty sure like Ross can survive pretty high after the line will be depleted, so I think she can do this no problem.
Come on, Resnar. Waiting for you.
What are we
you
waiting
roll.
for?
I roll anyway.
I don't see it.
Again, 11.
He got an
Let
11.
me review it. You got a
11?
11. Okay. Your microphones keep breaking up for me. There we go. If you can see yourself twice, it doesn't matter. I can only see you once. So that should be everyone. Quentin, you have rolled.
Yes, rolled poorly.
Ross with you have rolled. Excellent. Ross, you're standing by the window.
Yeah.
As you look out, you see this hail of rain pouring down on the window, droplets rolling down, and way down there on the parking lot, you see hundreds of security guards swarming the building.
So, as she was about to jump when the servitors stride in, she just kinda stops for a while and she like notices her friends are still standing, like, are you coming with me, guys? She's like pulling her gun to shoot one of them.
So as Ross says that, Jericho is already pulling a haywire grenade out of his kit, and over his shoulder, he kind of looks back at Ross and he says, "Get the key out first." And
All right.
And I'm not sure if that's your action, Ross, but Jericho's going to toss this grenade whenever.
Alright, so I hesitate to shoot and I just do like a little shitty civilian, how it's called, the salute, and just lower myself down.
And you have the key, right, Ross?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you did that. I am just gonna. Can I take a half action now that Ross is out to throw a grenade and then jump out the window with my drop harness on?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have the key in your hands? Anyone wanna jump out?
Ross does. Ross has the
Gotcha.
key, and she already jumped.
And I really hope I don't have it in my hands, but like somewhere in the pocket or
Wait,
something.
so everyone has a way of jumping out of this window but Quentin.
Yes.
I don't have a way to jump out the window.
In character, guys. We're in the second, in the moment right now. Quentin, you're turning
It's not
around.
Quentin's turn.
Yeah, but you see that Jericho is getting ready with his drop harness. He's immediately attaching it to his chest. And you wanted to jump out?
I'm assuming you're saying that to Mogadishu.
Yeah, Jericho.
As soon as he tosses the haywire grenade, Jericho is gonna take. Well, shit. Quentin and Llewellyn are in here. Nope, Jericho's not gonna jump out yet.
Cool.
He will take cover behind the table and ready his las rifle. And hang on, I'm just looking at the. So it's haywire 3, so it affects everything in a 3-meter radius.
Yes.
This is what I targeted.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You can do that before the action begins. That's fine.
Okay. And then let me just roll for the haywire field real quick.
Mm-hmm. So they get minus 30 on a test, is that? No.
Nope. Any. You know what? Actually, can I re-roll that? Because it's not. It doesn't do damage. It just causes a. At that level, they would. Any weapon firing or anything like that would take a minus 10 penalty. Any movement employing cybernetics also takes a minus 10 penalty, and the base movement of anyone in power armor, which I'm not sure if these guys would be, is reduced by 1.
Anything that harms someone can't be rolled, unfortunately.
So it doesn't, but that doesn't harm them, right?
Anything
It
that
doesn't
hampers
do
or
anything.
harms does anything to. Yeah. A grenade is an offensive, so unfortunately.
I will spend a fate point to reroll then.
Yep.
Oh god. It doesn't do anything.
Say again.
It doesn't do anything.
What does it look like?
So the grenade lands, and actually turns out that it's a dud. You know, and as soon as it lands, Jericho's like, oh, that motherfucking. And because he bought this from Aver, right? And he ducks behind the table and readies his Lazarus.
Awesome. By the way, if I'm not catching what you're saying occasionally, that's because I can only hear every other word of what you're saying. It's lagging so bad, it's unbelievable. Is anyone else here lagging? Or is it just me? Can you all hear each other okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I can only, like, every 2 seconds I hear a word and then it goes off again. Anyway, I'll have my PC next weekend. So, Ross, what do you do?
Well, I guess I'm doing this jumping out of the window business. Should I roll something? Should I
You want
plan
to
my
jump
roll?
out the window?
Yes. I do have the drop harness, and I have a plan of like trying to go somewhere on a lower level, like across the balconies or something. Perhaps to my favorite point of landing would be our parking lot with a car.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you can absolutely do that. So you want to attach the harness and jump out the window.
Yeah.
Okay. Jill walks over to the both of you. Ross, you have jumped out. Jericho, what do you do?
If it's actually Jericho's turn now, Jericho will look back over at Quentin and Llewellyn and be like, jump, I'll cover you. And he's going to toss another grenade.
Jump with what, though?
Haven't thought that far ahead, Quentin. Good luck.
You look down, it's like, you see in Matrix, right? When Neo looks out the window, it's like, ah. It's exactly like that. It just looks like suicide.
Oh god, and he missed. Hang on, let me roll
Oof.
scatter.
You tossed grenade out of the window.
Okay. That is a 5. What happens?
It actually still affects the top guy. So it will scatter up here and should still affect this guy at least, I think.
Cool.
And it creates a dead zone. Technology within the area completely ceases to function. Characters with cybernetic replacements suffer 1 level of fatigue each round. Basically, nothing technological works for that guy. And it lasts for, in this case, 7 rounds. So it steps down by 1, or no, 3 rounds, sorry. So it steps
So
down
he's just
by 1 every turn.
disabled completely. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I just found
So
the
you see-
combat map.
Hmm?
I just found the combat map. I was like, what are you... Sorry.
I did not hear what you said there. It just broke up.
Doesn't matter, GM, continue.
Okay. Yes, so you see sparks flying out of this cogitator servitor as he goes down on one knee, and then immediately his head falls down. His hands lay in front of his feet, lifeless, and you hear this sound. The other servitor is walking in, and he has his gun raised towards the people at the window. Llewellyn.
Llewellyn pulls out her now loaded modified combat servitor Maxim bolter that she has suddenly learned how to use after rolling a 1. And takes an aim. She like brings the gun up. She the way she holds the trigger portion in her left hand, and then she holds up her forearm, the part that's still like fleshy but not her hand, and rests the bolt, like the barrel of the bolter, on her forearm, and kind of just takes this stance with her right leg forward and left leg back, prepares to take the brunt of recoil as she unloads 3 rounds at him.
Awesome.
Roll. It's not rolling for me. I'm just gonna do it. My target is half action aim, short distance.
It's almost point blank, but not quite.
Almost, but not quite. Okay.
You could take 1 step closer and be point blank.
I can't. I already half action aimed.
Cool.
So, it's only 1 hit.
Roll for damage. Ooh, crit. That means... you know what that means? Okay. So this is in the 6.
Oh, it
which
finally
is-
started working.
Yeah. So 6, that would be the head, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And you do a crit 5. Has someone got the table open? If not, I can find it.
Yeah, 67.
Yeah, I've got it. So, crit 5. The explosion flays the flesh from the target's face and bursts his eardrums with its force. The target is stunned for 1d10 rounds and is permanently deafened. Permanently reduces fellowship characteristic by 1d5.
I don't think you'll be needing that anyway. Stun for 5 rounds.
Oh, 5 rounds? Yeah.
So he also gets this huge blast in his back, and you see it hits some critical point in his back, and he just keels over. It's not enough to even dent him. It wouldn't do any damage to him, but you hit some really close, important circuit, and he just shuts down. At that moment, you hear two more coming from the stairs. Quentin.
Right, Quentin immediately slides over to Jericho, and he just kind of tests his drop harness a second, and he kind of just looks at him dead in the eyes like, "Do you think this can carry us both?"
Jericho laughs and he's like, "Well, I guess we're gonna find out."
At that point, Quentin just kind of nods, but before he does, can you get an angle on any of them from here, GM? I don't think so.
An
We're in
angle on
front of a
the
table.
enemies?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You can shoot the closest one.
We're at a table, Quentin, just so you know.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, I think he's gonna aim at this one with his plasma gun. He's gonna take a shot
Awesome.
before he then probably goes to cling on to Mogadishu. Is that short ranged?
Yeah,
That is
short
true.
range for you.
For almost every weapon.
Please tell me he hit
Beautiful hits. Does it hit in the body?
for once in his life. Pew pew.
Oosh. Okay. So that is... read the damage you do, guys, because I'm not necessarily looking at the screen.
He did
It's
16
okay this
damage
time.
with 6 pen.
Yeah. Okay. That is very good damage. The servitor is definitely injured. You break past the very heavy armor, and you see some parts of his chest start to melt, and sparks flying everywhere. As soon as he enters the room, he gets this plasma bolt in his chest that just goes down. And Jill is going to go over to the window and yell, "Everyone, it's coming! Jump into the lander! What are you doing?" As soon as you jump out and start to drop down with your harness, Ross,
Yep.
She goes, "All right, she decided to die. Anyone else?"
Oh, so the landers for us. Oh.
It's coming up to the floor that you're on. Yeah.
I thought it was, but then it seemed sinister before. Anyway, sorry.
It is
Yeah.
right outside the window now, hovering for you to make the jump.
Oh, god damn it. Ross is very unhappy. Actually, I had a grappling hook, so she just activates the
Well,
servo motor to pull back in. It's like, oh.
you all hear this sound as she goes back up again.
She just like,
Barely.
cover her hands, like her face in hands, in like pain, like she's red on the face.
Yeah, and you're like desperately clawing at the floor, like pulling yourself up. You're covered in rain.
It's supposed to be down. It's to jump.
It's wet and slippery, and Jill helps you up. She holds your hand for a second, and she sort of gives you this maniacal smile as she doesn't pull you all the way up. She's just holding your hand there, and you're hanging from the ledge, Ross.
I'm still like strapped to my grappling hook, so I guess I just help myself up with a servo.
Yep, you use the grappling hook.
Thank you.
Jill then, as soon as you do that, she helps you up the last portion. Jericho, what do you do? I'm gonna take 15 seconds or so for each turn before we go to the next game.
So Jericho, he looks over at Quentin and he's like, "I'm glad we didn't have to test that theory." And this time he pulls out that crack grenade that Llewellyn gave him, and he tosses that instead. And he yells for Llewellyn to get to the lander. And he runs and like dives in. And as he does, he's like unbuckling his drop harness. And it'll take me just a second to because I got to roll damage with a crack grenade, so it'll take me.
Yeah,
just a
no
second.
worries. Yeah. We can go to Llewellyn in the meanwhile. What do you do, Llewellyn?
Llewellyn puts her bolter like back onto its strap, and she like runs by the outside of this servitor, jumps up Dukes of Hazzard style with one hand on this table, sliding across it, and then uses that momentum to try to leap out the window towards the waiting ship. But as she like gets to the windowsill, she doesn't notice, but it's all wet from where Kit's like trying to climb in it with her wet ass hands, and so she like slips, and what was gonna be this cool ass jump ends up being this like flailing fall into the vehicle.
Oof. So you're jumping out the window now, running at full speed.
Yep.
And you can do a... 1 second.
Is it athletics?
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited for that.
Yes, it is athletics. Minus 10.
Or
Minus
acrobatics.
10. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You guys ready for this?
Oh god.
Are you sure you
What
want to do this?
I fail by 5 degrees. No, 3 degrees.
sure
I fail
you
by
wanna
3
do
degrees.
This is. I have a rule as a GM where I let players get a warning before something really dangerous, and I just ask, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Thank you.
I mean, I don't. Not really, but I don't really see another option. I don't know what else I could do.
You could probably take 2 rounds to do it, maybe.
Or wait
Rather
for
than,
someone
you know-
else to jump and hand you a rope or something.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho is like dropping his drop harness, and he's gonna make the leap too. So, if you want,
Just
just
make
be like, Jericho, help.
Leave it on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what would happen.
I'm pretty sure it's time for us to catch Lavland.
How far away
before
is
she kills
this land raider from the window?
It's well, it can't get any closer because it would be dangerous. But the entrance is actually a little bit lower down on it. You assume it's maybe like 10 meters, but it's slightly down as well.
I can't see any other way that Llewellyn would either stay and fight or she would just jump.
I mean,
So
is it quite a distance to the...
it's 30 feet apparently.
But it's 1 floor down from where you're standing.
Is it slowly rising each time, right? Each turn?
Oh no, it can't get any closer.
Oh. Well,
Just wait one turn for someone to make it.
Okay, I'll wait then.
Sorry, what?
I'll wait. I don't
So
I
you
don't
skip
think
your
anyone's
turn?
gonna make
Okay.
it.
The servitor is turning to you, Quentin, and
Yep.
this one. So that was just damage, right? The crack grenade. There was nothing else.
Yeah, it's just damage.
Okay, okay. This guy walks over to the table. And he's going to shoot at you, Quentin. That is a hit.
can I dodge?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I made it.
Awesome. How many hits do you dodge?
1, I think. I only have 1 degree of success.
Only 1 degree. Okay. You take 7 explosive damage.
Okay.
And then you take 13 explosive damage.
What? Okay.
Yeah. The rest of you see this servitor lean up to the table, and Quentin is just falling backwards, getting hit again and again and again.
But no penetrating, right?
No penetration. Quentin.
10. Okay, sorry, I was working on my wounds. Yeah. Quentin is he's gonna jump, I think. I don't think he has much else of a choice. Can I use a fate point to make the jump? Or to help me make the jump?
Did you say that to me?
Yeah, I was saying that to you.
Okay, you keep breaking up, so repeat it.
I was saying, can I use a fate point to make the jump?
You can do +10 with the fate point.
Is it athletics?
I'm pretty sure we always could use acrobatics. Looking at past sessions.
I'm never gonna make this jump. Well, Quentin goes for the jump. And,
Okay.
yeah, well, he has no choice, I think. So he goes for the jump, and he misses. And can I just say, he grabs onto the edge of, or I don't know, maybe he lands on the top of it. I don't know. It's up to the GM how I landed, to be honest, or if I landed.
Or if you ever land, maybe just floating forever in space.
I rolled 37, and the target was 18.
Okay. Are you sure you want to jump? Well, you're already dead.
Or I can burn a fate point to make this jump.
About to crash.
I don't know how else to make this jump, GM. If you're asking me if I'm sure that I want to jump, the answer is no.
You do you have a drop harness attached to you?
No. But you could grab onto Kit.
So you decided to just jump out of the window without any safety, just make a jump for it.
Are you asking me if I regret this decision?
I didn't hear that actually.
I said, if you're asking me if I regret this decision, yes. I wasn't sure if he could grab onto... I'm a bit confused as to what the drop harness is, / what it does.
It's a repelling harness.
Is it a repelling harness? Alright, because a drop harness is technically just a harness, and so I didn't actually understand what it was in the context of this. Can I say that you didn't jump then, GM? Because he's
Sure.
okay. He walks over to Jericho, and he just wraps his arms around him. And he's like, "After you, partner." And while he does that, he points his gun over Jericho's shoulder, and blasts the nearest servitor.
Yes.
We're going to make a jump together that is like a horizontal jump.
Yep.
All of you together in a huge clump. Just move, fall down. Total party vibe.
I think that's a hit, isn't
It's
it?
like the worst total party wipe.
He did 16 damage with 6 penetrating, GM.
That's gonna do it. Servitor explodes, and you see just shards and fragments fly everywhere. Some blood spurting out, and it falls over, shaking as it explodes. Jill is just gonna keep waving you on, like, "Come on, go!" Ross, what do you do?
Alright, can I use acrobatic instead of athletics to make a jump?
Did you say something there, Ross?
Yes. Can I use acrobatics instead of athletics?
You may not, unfortunately.
Okay, then I just shoot a grappling hook into the...
Okay.
Probably, you know, the landing thingies, I don't know how they're called.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm attaching the grappling hook somewhere on the aircraft and just dropping.
Very nice, do a ranged attack. I'm gonna give you a -10 on that.
So it was like a straight on ballistic skill.
Sure.
Okay, so I do like a Okay.
Okay, very nice. The rest of you see Ross almost missing, but she just swings this hook and it hits the top of the lander. and you aimed perfectly. It is now attached.
Great.
There's also an angle down to the lander, so it's like a 30-degree angle.
So I guess we can all use it from now on. So I guess I should secure this other end somewhere on a window frame or something and just slide it.
Okay, there is a metal pole there that you sort of wrap it around and tie
I hope
down.
it's like a regular rope and we won't have any problems to untie.
Oh, it's fine. Probably won't break, hopefully, maybe.
Okay.
And do you want to start climbing, or what do you want to do? Do you have
Yeah, I
something
guess.
maybe that you can use to slide down there?
I definitely do not. So I guess we have to climb it or probably slide it down or something.
Cool.
Should be
So
easier.
you start just climbing the rope, basically. Your ankles wrapped around it and your hands wrapped around it, and you start to slowly descend towards the craft. Is that correct?
Fantastic. Well, I have no other choice, so yeah.
Gotcha. And Jericho, did we skip your thing?
Yeah, you did.
Go for
So
it.
Kit is currently on the rope, so no one else can slide down right now, right?
No, you can all go on there. It's room for all of it.
Okay, so Jericho is gonna grab Quentin, and he's gonna attach his drop harness. I'm assuming it's got like a carabiner or something like that to the rope, and he is gonna grab hold of Quentin and his belt with both hands, and then he is just gonna
Okay.
jump off the side of the building so that they slide down the rope on the carabiner.
Oh, shit.
We will die.
Okay. So you are making a jump. You know what to do.
No. I am attaching myself to the line that Kit just used.
Oh, you're attaching yourself to it.
I
Gotcha.
hope I already made it and it's not like you're knocking me off.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
what
the
I'm
cool
asking.
thing. So I'm not gonna make you roll for it actually with your harness. That should be fine. Quentin and Jericho, you both slide down the rope. As soon as you hit the air, you just get this cold breeze over you. The rain is pouring down, you're both wet. And you sort of close your eyes, flying through the rain, droplets hitting you harder and harder. And the rope sort of accelerates as you come closer to the craft. And as soon as you're there, you sort of slacken it a little bit, giving you a little bit more room, and it slings you into the ceiling of the lander. And you just grab the ceiling, still attached to the harness.
So as Jericho and Quentin make it into the lander, Jericho is like unhooking himself from the piece and starts taking off his drop harness to try and toss it up.
Yeah.
But as he does that, he looks over at Quentin and he says, "I hope you don't hold this against me, but I never want to do that."
Quentin just kind of looks at him and he goes, "Yeah, I think this is one that we'll just keep to ourselves for the future."
You got both getting expression points. Llewellyn?
Raznar, we can't hear you, bro.
Is Raznar her?
Oh, Llewellyn flips the table to give herself some cover from these guys coming in, and then jumps up into the window, and reaches up with her metallic cybernetic scriptine hand and wraps it over the top of the line, grabbing onto it, the top of it with her left hand to slide down.
Gotcha. You can do an athletics plus 20. No, plus 30. Sorry. very easy test.
Ugh, I still failed.
I would advise using fate points.
Okay. Is this one something you can reroll with inspiration?
Yes, absolutely.
I finally passed.
All of you see Llewellyn sort of jump up, grab the rope with her hand, and slowly start to slide down, and it accelerates faster and faster and faster. You see smoke coming from the rope, and as you hit the side of the craft, your feet sort of bounce in, and Quentin, you grab them and pull her in. She sort of lands with a thump on the floor.
Quentin just kind of smirks and goes, "Well, at least you're not dead."
Llewellyn lays sprawled, face down, on the craft, and just doesn't respond.
2 servitors are going to open fire on Jill. So at this moment, Ross, Jill is just standing in front of you, and she's basically taking the bullets for you.
No, I'm already in the aircraft.
You're
yeah,
already there. Okay.
she went first.
Gotcha. So you're all there. You look up and you see Jill getting hit again and again and again. That's the last thing you see. And
Does the
she
table
walks over.
protect her at all?
Um,
That I flipped over for cover on the
you
other
flipped it over?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. All right.
Why she's not dodging?
That would protect her once, absolutely. It seems like you actually care about one of my NPCs here, guys. What's going on? I'm surprised. She is going to stay there. And the craft slowly turns away.
Okay, I should probably untie it right now because it's going to be horrible.
Yeah, that
So,
might
yeah.
hurt.
Yeah, Rose cut the ropes, I guess. Screaming at Jill to jump in, but she's not responding.
Very nice. In the craft, there is nothing. It's just this empty space, and
Can we not see
there
who's
are.
piloting?
Sorry. Say
I was gonna say, can we not see who's piloting it?
No, not at all. So, climbing on board the ship, you quickly secure the harnesses as it takes off. As soon as it flies down, gunfire just fills the windows smashing, and the rain sort of obscures your vision for a while as you drive off. Some gunfire hits the bottom of the ship, but it seems like it's coming from one source, or a handgun here and there. It's not an organized effort. So you get the feeling that they don't really know what's going on down there. There are 8 seats, and the door to the cockpit is sealed shut. The ship looks heavily modified. You fly off over the mountains. Do you want to just wait, or do anything in particular?
Llewellyn would like to open her senses to the warp.
Oh,
What the fuck?
what?
Oh, that's legit. So you
Please
fly
don't
over
do
this.
that in that aircraft.
You fly over these mountain ranges, and looking back, you see this huge tower, and you see Jill standing there in the top floor. You notice that the gunfire ends as soon as you fly off, and she slowly walks over to the window, the floor filled with broken glass and rain, and she just stands there in the window of the building, looking at you. You eventually fly over the mountains and away from Haver.
Quentin just kind of, as soon as they start to kind of move away from Ava, just flops onto the deck of the lander, and he just pulls his hands over his face and just lets out a deep breath, and then from the top of his lungs just yells, "We're alive!"
Nice. You get inspiration points. You finally arrive after a little while at the top of a cliff near a mountain on the other side from Haver. The surroundings are completely barren. It's this desert-like landscape. You haven't seen any flying predators in Aventine, so you assume that this is safe. You spot a large vehicle down below you with an open door. The sand kicks up as the ship slowly descends, and you land on this top of the mountain. It looks like a completely deserted place. The door slowly opens for you to exit. What do you do?
Quentin immediately looks over at Jericho as the door opens, and he's just kind of, his brows are almost knitted together, and I don't quite understand what happened with that Jill woman, who's assumingly dead now, and who may not be the only version of her. Why did she help us, and why the hell was this load already for us? It all seems convenient, and I'm fairly certain I should be dead, and I'm not, so that's immediately a question to be raised.
You step out, and this warm breeze flows over you. You've been flying for about an hour, and you sort of listen, and it's just the wind, an occasional animal far in the distance, and you're completely hidden here. The vehicle parked here looks like some escape vehicle. There's a small camp that has been made with a single tent.
Legs rock, yes.
What do you do? This is a role-playing scene. Come on, guys.
Jericho looks over at Quentin and he says, as he's lighting a low stick and adjusting his scarf, which is now probably soaking wet, and he says, what I want to know is, why didn't they shoot her? And he nods at the tent and he says, let's go see if this is really the Inquisition we're talking to.
Quentin just kind of nods slowly and pulls out his own glow stick, lighting it, and he just kind of stretches his arms back. And even though he doesn't know what he's about to face, and even though he's confused, he's still smiling like he's worth $1 million, because he's still alive, and he's still very, very certain he shouldn't be.
By the way, go ahead.
No, go on.
So, is when Jericho gets done talking to Quentin, he turns and looks back at Ross and he says, by the way, good job. You saved all our asses back there, Ross.
Well, I did nothing. Ross checks if she still have the key.
You still have the key.
Great.
Nah, that grapnel line, that did it. None of us were going to make that.
Well, I wouldn't make it too.
Yeah, well, let's go figure out who these guys are. Maybe shoot some more people.
Llewellyn blows a puff of her hair up out of her face, and then kind of takes out her rebreather and puts it on from all of this low stick smoke being breathed about. She's got to protect her precious lungs. She steps
These
off
things
the
will kill you.
craft and heads towards the small tent area.
It's
pulling out her
a mean
auspex
small
and
tent.
scanning it for.
It couldn't fit more than 2 people, this tent.
Okay.
And you sort of scan it, and there's no one there. It's just
Okay.
empty. There are a couple of bedrolls, some food, some water. That's it. There is a jeep, though, sort of like jeep-like vehicle, parked next to it.
Does it have its keys in the ignition?
Oh yes,
Oh, that's very
it's
cool.
even started. The door is open.
And there's no one here.
There's no one here.
How many days was it on idle?
You don't know?
Quentin crosses his arms as Kit is kind of fussing and confused over the Jeep.
Yes. It's like making circles around the jeep.
And he just kind of claps his hands together and he goes, Well, there's a lot of questions for us to get answered, but the most important thing is, let's look at this key. Let's look at these documents that we found in here. We need to inspect it and send whatever messages we can to your friend. And he gestures to Jericho as he says it.
Yeah, let's do that. Jericho also, he looks through the tent, looking to see if you said there was a little bit of food and supplies and stuff like that.
Yep.
What kind of stuff is in there?
All kinds of meat, different supplies, food supplies, water.
So it's not
Cereal.
like supplies for like a commando team, though.
Not
It's
at
just
all,
really
not at
food
all.
and water.
Looks like basic survival items, and it looks like they were put here in case you wanted to spend the night here.
Cool.
And it's not like someone else has been staying here. This was all planted specifically for you.
Cool. Well, like Quentin said, let's crack open the thing and I don't know, figure out
What's going
What
on?
do you do, guys?
So,
Right, so I guess we are expecting the key. So Rose just pulls it out of her, I don't know, backpack or something, and just like presents it to everyone else. Okay, someone want to take a look.
Quentin immediately takes it in his hands, just kind of cups it between his hands and just
Don't
looks
you-
it over. He almost looks afraid to touch it. And he looks up at Jericho and he's like, "We're 120% certain this is the key."
Jericho just shakes his head and he says, "No, no, I can't tell if we just got played or not."
Can I scrutinize the key and see if I notice anything particular about it or anything special?
So, you want to look at the parchment? You want to open it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you open it, it is written in High Gothic, and it is ancient. It is a strange variation of High Gothic. So you're not really able to make out what it says,
Even though I know High Gothic.
right? You want to study it and try to understand it.
I can roll linguistics High Gothic.
Can we
That you
take
can
a
do.
picture of it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Mhm. So you open it up, Marianne, and you can do a High Gothic -10.
Oh, -10? I did the roll before you said that, and I made it, now I won't make it. Oh well. Can I use an inspiration point to reroll?
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Oh! Ah!
Okay, so what happens then? I can describe it. So Quentin walks over with his parchment, slowly unfolds it, looks at it, and starts reading. After a little while, looks confused, and the rest of you see that you can't really make out what it says as he turns the page around and around and around.
Yeah, well, Quentin just kind of... You can tell by the bead of sweat that's slowly coming down his forehead, he's engaging every brain muscle he owns. And then finally, very abruptly, he just kind of lifts his head up, looks at Jericho, and then Llewellyn, and then Ross, and then he goes, "Yeah, I can understand it. I feel like I'm on the brink, but no, it just was like gibberish." And then he just immediately turns to Llewellyn and offers it out, and he's like, "I think you're probably the best one to try and understand this."
Llewellyn, we're like standing in the rain, right?
The rain has passed. It is now slightly overcast.
Okay. Llewellyn turns to Ross and she's like, "If you don't mind recording this parchment, so that way we have it in a digital copy."
Yeah, fine, but I'll carry it because I'm afraid it can be stolen out of you. And Rose gives the thingy, the key to Lola, so you can. Take your time.
Are you going to capture it with your recorder?
Oh, you want me to do this, all right? And she pulls up the camera and just points it out.
Yes, guys.
You do.
Do you see where we are on the map? So you've been flown out to almost the main road, and you're far away from Mabel.
So Jericho is thinking of more immediate concerns, and he's like, if it was me, I'd be guarding the bridge back to Lord Sarwalk's palace. That might be a tough one, but I don't see any other way around it.
After it gets, recorded, then she will attempt to decipher this ancient High Gothic.
Mm-hmm. So you pull it up. It looks exactly like you imagine, like a faded parchment, ancient artifact.
I actually have the trade of linguistics in general.
Nice.
As well.
You can get a +10 then.
Okay. Ooh, 2 successes.
Very nice. Immediately, as you see this, actually, I can copy the text for you, and you can read it yourself.
Yay.
Or I can read it since I'm the narrator. That's fine. So it says on this page that you're on, first off, there's a bunch of complex graphs and schematics that are no doubt highly heretical. The text that you sort of see is outlined, and this is probably why this was so valuable. Just the part that you read is, and so it was written in the secret chapter of the Lay of Askellon. The settlers had survived the age of strife and built the founding world with knowledge that has since been lost. If discovered today, the chapter written by Juhas Zadok would no doubt be deemed heretical, considering the incomprehensible nature of the technology depicted here. As you sort of flip through the couple of pages, you see some impossible shapes and all the schematics and information you would need to construct some sort of device. It continues, when the sector was rediscovered, according to Sadok's theory, the new wave of settlers approached the ancient founding world, only to be rejected and sent away, for the first settlers had journeyed through the pandemonium and developed millennia beyond what humanity can imagine even today. Moreover, they had internalized the knowledge of the ancient sin and wanted nothing to do with the lords of Askellon. You sort of read further down. It is theorized that some of the pages from Sadok's writings fell into the hands of Lord Sparron Hark, the witch hunter, who soon after launched an inquisition into the very heart of. The page is ripped in half, but the schematic is intact. It contains more information on the characters depicted in the text.
I'm guessing that Llewellyn relays this to the rest of the group.
Yeah, she is able to translate it, and as she translates it, she reads it out loud.
Quentin just kind of listens over it, and immediately he looks over at Jericho, and there's some confusion there, but mainly a flicker of heavy realization and concern. That that mentions the Inquisition. You don't think that they're a part of all of this?
So Jericho is got his Voxcaster out, and he is tuning it to different frequencies and listening for a moment. And he's got it propped up on the hood of the Jeep, and he's got one of the. I imagine it's like a radio that I would have used in the military, and he's got one of the earmuffs like pushed up against his ear, and he looks at Quentin, and he shakes his head very slightly, and he says, "Quentin, I learned a long time ago not to ask those kinds of questions. The mission is the mission."
As soon as you turn the dial a little bit, Jericho, you sort of lean up to the Jeep, and you hear this code, like a crackling sound. And you know that this is the code used by Mordecai. It gets a little stronger, and after a little while it repeats again and again. And whoever is listening can do a logic test to decipher the binary message.
Jericho hands the thing to Llewellyn, and he's like, "Mordecai's doing his thing, and I don't speak computer, so."
Oh, yes. Luckily for you, I do.
To a -10 logic test, you get an inspiration point. Llewellyn listens intensely to the radio.
1 success.
Yes. The message says, as I said previously, the name Icarus traces back to the freighter that arrived recently in the Asphodel Depths subsector. And then the message sort of changes a little bit. They seem to have taken advantage of Aventin's lack of connection with Juno, because there is no record of the ship beyond the arrival at Port Mire. I am still in the process of moving. I will let you know more soon.
So, Vermosta mentioned Icarus. I know what that.
Yes, and the voice that you heard that transported you here identified itself as Icarus.
Yeah, no, that was in character to the rest of the group.
Wait, so what did you say again? Sorry, it kind of cut out a little bit for me.
So Jericho kind of looks over the group, and he said, you know, Vermosta mentioned Icarus. I don't know what that means. I still can't tell if they're on our side or not.
Well, they're on our side as far as it concerns us living, and that's pretty much as I can disconcern from this whole situation. We've got some sort of similar goal. How far that extends, I guess, is for us to find out, but right now we just need to recoup and get ready to go to our next destination group. And I just want to say, Conan looks over at you. Looks over at the whole kind of group, and he kind of clasps his hands together. And for a second, he's kind of rubbing his hands almost like he's a little bit nervous. And he's like, I know I ain't the easiest folk to get along with. And I know it's taken a lot to respect and follow my requests as a leader. But we made it out alive, and I'm damn telling you, no other group would have done it. So I guess I'm trying to say I'm proud of you all for not being dead. And we'll just keep ourselves focused for the sake of the Emperor, for the sake of our mission, and we will complete this alive. For the first time, I'm certain of that. And he just kind of clears his throat for a second, almost feeling like he's awkward for being so earnest and positive once, and just jumps into the passenger seat, just slams the door and taps the side of it. He's like, well, come on, man, don't stand there waiting, let's get going.
Thanks, Dad.
As Jericho slides in the back, he's like, I'm glad you returned to your normal asshole self, Quentin. I was starting.
Oh, well, you can't be too nice.
Okay, Rose wants to pick up the key and like conceal it on her person because she believes everyone else will drop it.
Hmm.
And I guess we start the engines and go.
Yep.
That's
So
the role
as-
playing thing? Or
Yeah.
do you want to say more to each other?
No, Jericho's going to busy himself with the Voxcaster, and he's specifically looking for anything about any information about the bridge, like any closures or anything like that they might broadcast or any kind of information that might talk about the situation up ahead.
Very nice. You can do a tech use test.
This is going to end poorly.
Can someone help him?
So you see Jericho fiddling with the radio for a while, and it's not really turning out anything.
He ends up like dialing the volume up really loud, and he's like, I can't hear you. What are you saying? How do I
Quentin
turn this thing down?
Quentin just looks over him and he's just chuckling. He's just like, for once, I'm not the idiot in the car. Feels good.
What?
Just gonna savor this moment. And then he just calls over the mic and says, "You are an idiot."
When Quentin is like screaming, like Ross reaches out and like douses down, so it's just Quentin's over nothing.
Yeah.
By the Emperor, Quentin, why are you yelling?
Quentin just closes his throat. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta yell.
Do you have any problems with radios or something? Can I help?
Yeah, here. And
I can find some sick tunes, and she tries to like dial up like a random music station.
I actually thought you were driving, kid.
Yeah, I can drive and be a DJ at the same time.
Nice. Beats by Ross.
Yes.
You sort of sit there and enjoy the music for a while, and you manage to finally tune into the radios. And at first you listen to the security from Aver. You pick up that they actually don't want to make a fuss out of this. They don't want to report it back to Sarawak, and they want to shut down everything, hide all the traces of this happening, and just pretend like it never happened. So you get the feeling that it's not reported to.
Is there a way to send
Alistair.
back a message to Malachi?
Absolutely, yes.
I guess it would be that now is a good time to erase the trace that we were there.
You immediately get a reply of okay. And with that message coming in binary, and Llewellyn imparting that to the rest of you, that's where we can end it. For this time. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Good night, Mama.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, good night, guys. That was really good.
Yeah, good night. Thanks for the session, guys.
Okay, no one's
Well,
going to ask.
Sorry? Yeah. No, because I got a meal at 1 o'clock. Unless you're gonna drive with me there. Yeah. I got no choice in that. Why? Well, I planned that meal on Sunday 3 weeks ago. I'll wake up, don't worry. Yeah. Yep.
Morton, why have you left the Geo behind?
Oh, 800 XP.
Ovaltine. Sounds like some kind of chocolate drink.
How much XP do you have now?
What the fuck?
Ew.
You.
Alright, hang on. I need to stop streaming. I'm